Here's a super chat I can bring up on screen though. From Heavy Metal D. He said, evening all. I'm still in the camp of wanting Nunez to stay and not yet giving up on him. Maybe I'm a bit deluded, but I think he can be great for us. So, look, it's really difficult to nitpick when somebody is backing one of our players. So I'm not going to shout you down, mate, or say you're deluded. But all I can say to you is, I think you're starting to become into the minority, but not too much, because last night we did a poll on the channel and it was closer than I expected. We asked, do you think Darwin Nunez can still turn it around at Liverpool? 54% said no and 46% said yes. So I'm at a point where I don't think we can. And journalists I've spoken to and people that are closer to the club than me believe we're going to see him sold in the summer. Now, if he went on a mad one between now and the end of the summer, who knows? But we are now 40% of the way through the season. And I think he scored 3 goals in all competitions, 2 in the Premier League. It's just not good enough from a number 9 at Liverpool Football Club. And he's got opportunities. I just don't think he is. I mean, I want him to succeed. But I just don't see it anymore, mate. I got to be honest, I don't. And as I said, I love the kid. I love a maverick. I want him to do well. I've certainly seen an improvement in his work rate and stuff like that. But ultimately, if you're a number 9 for Liverpool Football Club, that ball has to be hitting the back of the net on a more regular basis. So, Troy Deeney was speaking about Darwin. And I wanted to get your take on this, actually. So, he said that it feels like when Darwin gets through one-on-one, he basically just shuts his eyes, hits it hard and hopes for the best. And as much as I've disagreed with a lot of stuff for Troy Deeney, I find it hard to disagree with that take, because he gets himself into good positions. He's more than capable of creating opportunities as well. But I think, when he gets into those one-on-one moments, I never feel confident. I never feel like when Salah's through one-on-one, I feel confident. When Jota's through, I feel confident. When Gakpo's through, I feel confident. But with Darwin, I don't. I feel it's 50-50 at best when he goes through with a keeper. So I think I kind of understand where Deeney's coming from on this one. It does feel like he's a bit of a hit and hope merchant. Lisa said, I'm struggling with Nunez. I want him to do well, but I'm losing faith day by day. I mean, I totally get where you're coming from, Lisa. I do. We all want him to do well. But, I had to ask myself the other day, Lisa, am I at a point now where I'm just hoping he does well rather than expecting him to do well? And I think I am. I don't think the rational part of my brain expects him to actually turn it around. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Nazar said, agree with you, Craig. Since Alisson's injury, Kelleher has put in a good argument for being number 1. Now Jota is back. I don't think there's any argument for Darwin to be the number 9. So I'm actually intrigued though, Nazar, to see if Arne gives Chiesa a shot through the centre. Because he played most of his minutes for Juventus in the 3-4 positions. Most of the time was through the centre. I know Chiesa speaks about himself as a winger, and maybe he can cover for Mo and give Mo a breather. But with him and Jota now, it'll be interesting to see who the gaffer gives the chance through the middle. So all sorts of everything. Thank you, mate, for your super chat. Said, my thoughts are that the combination of goals he should have scored with the ones that are a good save makes it look twice as bad, if that makes sense. Whereas with the one or the other, missing would be okay. I mean, he scores some mad goals like that you just think, how has he done that? But let's take the game against Girona the other night as an example, all sorts of everything. So he gets through on goal, and on his favourite side as well, and he shoots it, and it doesn't really test the keeper too much. The keeper just has to stick a right boot out and save it. So I think, look, 3 goals this season so far, I think it speaks volumes, and he's been given opportunities. Jota's been out for, a couple of months now. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it just hasn't worked. I don't want to point the finger of blame and get toxic about it, I just want to be honest about it and say I don't think it's worked. So, do you think Darwin can play Szoboszlai's central attacking midfield position? No, I don't. I don't think he has the nous to play the position. He'll have the work rate. I don't think he has the guile to play the position. I know you're probably looking along the whole Joe Linton, Newcastle, reinvent the forward into a central attacking midfielder, but I would say no, it's time to cash in, personally, rather than look to try and again shoehorn him into another position. Aaron said, Craig, apprehension about Chiesa through the middle. He's not the biggest lad. Either was Michael Owen, either was Robbie Fowler, either was Luis Suarez. You know, you don't have to be 6'4" to play through the centre if you're good enough. So, you know, I wouldn't be worrying about Chiesa's height. Now look, I'm not saying Chiesa is going to be the long-term solution through the centre either. But Diogo Jota isn't exactly a towering figure either. Adam Reynolds said, how much do you reckon Nunez is worth? It's a good question. It's a good question, and one that I've been asking myself. So there's two factors into my answer, right? One is Michael Edwards, and we know what Edwards has been able to get for players previously. So him and Hughes, I don't know if maybe we'd get somebody to stump up the dough that we'd be happy with. I would be expecting us to lose money from what we paid. So my thought process is probably around 50s, early 50s with some add-ons that are achievable if he wins stuff, scores goals, something like that. I feel like it'll be made to look like we didn't lose our arse in the transfer. Frozen said, is it just me? Seems like the players are losing faith in Darwin, giving him much less of the ball. Not sure, because Salah said the other day that he very much enjoys playing with Darwin. So, yeah, look, I guess it's the manager losing faith in him. That's the most important one, right? Him and Salah do have a good understanding, and, you know, they do set each other up a bit, but look, I want him. All I can say about him is I want it to work, but I'm no longer believing that it will. I'm more hoping now than believing. Do you think Luis Diaz can be our go-to starter if Jota is absent? Through the centre? He can certainly do a job there, as we've seen, but he's better on the left, you know. And I know there's a big battle there between himself and Cody Gakpo because they've both had a good season, but I would think we're probably going to see a Jota, Chiesa, Nunez battle for the central position. Till Sheen said, Jota is really going to make a difference. I think all with the pundits will be talking about him in a month. I hope so. Certainly. Do you know what always shocks me about Jota? Is how good he is aerially. That's the part, like, because he's not a big dude, but he chips in with more than his fair share of headers. That always surprises me about him. He's so good at positioning. Do you think that Darwin could benefit the team making more aerial crosses into the box? No. You know, I think we need to stop looking at any other reasons for Darwin not doing as well as he should other than Darwin. Because he's been played left, he's been played central, and it's not like he isn't getting opportunities. He's just not sticking the ball in the net. And ultimately, you know, that's your bread and butter when you're a centre forward. Tobias said, I'd consider selling Jota because of his availability. So I've said the same in the past as well, mate. They will certainly be the two at Liverpool that I think would be most sellable with regards to... Look, if Jota, let's say, was able to stay fit for the rest of this season, you wouldn't even have the conversation then. You know, if he stays fit now, between now and the end of the season, again, absolutely. It's never been an issue with Jota's ability. You know, we know he's good enough. It's just a matter of, you know, the games missed, as you've mentioned.